LaShonda Craddock, and this experience is all about the past and the present. And this is a simple way to get young people to understand the difference between the two time periods. So, the first thing that we do, again, with my Dollar Tree products is I have this plain poster board. I take that, staple it together, and make it into a book. So you can give your book whatever title you want to, but make sure that it has the past and the present, because those are the terms that we're going to go over, and I will show you the inside of this book once we get to the end. So once you have your book, you're going to choose your categories that you want to compare with the children. So the easiest categories that I chose was going to school, listening to music, then I have Viewmaster, how we looked at things and how we learned on the blackboard. And so I try to choose topics and areas that could be an easy comparison between what happened a long, long time ago when I was in school growing up and what is going on now. So once you have your topics and once you have your pictures, the next thing you're going to do is talk to the children about the past and the present. And so that is where we add the song and the movement. So I would say to them, looking back, that is the past. Looking at now, that is the present. And I will explain to them the past is behind us. It happened. It's gone. We have to look back to figure out what happened. And the present is now. What time is it? Now. And so once they have those concepts, then I take them back down memory lane to when I was their age and I was in school in the past. And so I tell to them, when I was in school in the past, we looked at things through Viewmaster. That is how I saw all of the pictures and watched little cartoons in school, Viewmaster. And then I would ask them, how do you look at things now? And they would say all kinds of things. Oh, we use a laptop. We use a smartphone. And they would have those things to compare. And so I say, okay, now you use the smartphone. Was that in the past or was that in the present? And then they would say, oh, that is the present. And when I looked at Viewmaster, was that in the past or was that in the present? A lot of them would say, well, that was in the past. But I had one student that said, we have one of those in the classroom. That is in the present. And so that let me know that she understood. So once I go through the categories and say, okay, this is what I did when I was little. What do you all do now? They would verbally tell me what they did. And then they would get a sheet of paper. I would take a simple computer paper, color paper, cut it up into little slots. And they would go and draw me the different things in the present that they do. So if we had a Viewmaster, then they would take little things, draw me a little iPhone, draw me a little laptop. And if we talked about how they learn, and they would have blackboard, I had a blackboard, then they would draw me a whiteboard and different ways that they learn. And in some classes, they would say, we have a blackboard right there. So that is the present. And so that was a nice little lesson for me. And then we talked about going to school. You know, I grew up in New York. I rode the train. How did you all get to school? They would say, oh, I ride my bike. I get in a car. So those types of things. And they would draw what they did. And at the end, their responsibility would be one of a few things. If they knew how to write a complete sentence, they would do a simple sentence. If they could only label bike, they would do that. If they were talking about a bike and they could only write the letter B, they would write the letter B. But their picture had to have a label, and that kind of allows the students to be met wherever they are. So here is the finished product from one of my classes. We have a Viewmaster, and then all of the ways. One student told me a Nintendo Switch is how they look at things. Going to school, we had a bus, a car, and then listening to music. They had a speaker. They had an iPhone. And so learning in school, one child said I had to have paper. I learned new paper, whiteboard, and they said I have a blackboard too. So all of the students were able to be met wherever their learning capability was. And that is our interactive lesson on the past and the present. Thank you.